Shabbat Shalom to all of you. This Shabbat we ended the book of Vayikra Leviticus. We say Hasach, Hasach, Ben Hasek, strength, strength being strong. And now we had the opportunity to give us a better ideas about certain things. I have been trying to bring it at this time in this cycle of readings and studying the different parashah, in this double parashah, to how to apply in our lives, how to be a Shomer Torah in a practical way, not in the way of religiosity, but in the way that we are fulfilling the principles of the Torah and what the Creator brought us to to do. Now, at this time, many people they do not like to read the book of Vayikra, Leviticus. They say that it's too complicated, it has too many things, has to do with the temple, with the korbanot, with the offerings, and holiness, and sometimes they cannot understand it. But if you look at it in a simple way, because the Creator, he didn't want to complicate our life. He wanted to make our life easier. And his principles are not to be followed literally, but to understand what do we do. There are different schools. And one of the schools that was given many times was, you do whatever they tell you to do. You don't question, you don't ask, you do it. Even if you don't understand, you need to do it. That is obedience. And that is to be blind obedience, take you to destruction. Don't take you to the right way. You need to understand, and you need to have a dialogue with the Creator. The Creator is open to you, for you to approach Him. And this is the reason that He has given us the freedom. I call it the Behirah of Shear, the free will. And all of us, we have it. And then little by little, we are getting away from that freedom. And if you remember last week, I talked to you from morality and integrity, going to immorality, and from immorality ended or landing in totally amoral attitude. That means that a person who doesn't have the capability any longer to differentiate the right and the wrong. In this double parashot and double portion, the first portion, the first chapter, chapter 25, is about the 7 days, and it's very interesting. It's about the Shabbat. And this time we are going to see a Shabbat, not only a Shabbat for men and animals for the rest, but this time we are going to see a Shabbat for the land, and a Shabbat, a universal Shabbat, I call it, the Yobel, the Jubilee. And if you look at the 7, the number 7 is a magic number in Judaism, but it's not a magic. What it tells us is a fate complete. That means there has been completed a cycle, and now we are going to start a new cycle, a new beginning. When you ended on Shabbat, a regular week, you ended your week of working, then you had a Shabbat, you rest, and then on the next day, the first day of the week, you start working. Here in the Western Hemisphere, they have extended one extra day, and then they start on the second day of the week. But you go to Israel, they start working on the first day of the week. On Shabbat, the rest on the first day of the week. And this is a new beginning. That means that you start a new beginning. All of you that have gone to school, or you have been in studying something, when you finish your cycle, what you do, you finish, you take a vacation, and then you start a new cycle, a new year. Well, this is the idea to give it to you. Then you have also the resting of the land. The land needs to rest for, after 6 years of using the land, on the 7th year, you give a rest to the land, and then you start again on the 8th year to work on the land. And that becomes very difficult Because if you are a farmer, sometimes you need to ask yourself, how am I going to survive? And here, a principle from the Torah is about to trust in the Creator. From emunah to bitachon. From faith to trust. And people confuse faith and trust in blind dependency. And this is not what our Creator teaches. Totally the contrary. The Creator teaches to be responsible. When we are given the freedom, to act, we need to be responsible. Then on the 6th year, what do you do? You know that on the 7th year you are not going to work. You do certain preparations too. You need to prepare yourself. You know that, I want to wait that everything comes from the heaven. And the 7th year, what it really means is that you do not treat your land, but there are going to be fruits, there are going to be harvests that they're going to be done, and what you do is open to everybody, and everybody is including yourself, but it is, the land is not treated. Remember, the land is going to keep producing, but you do not treat it, you don't do none. And then in the 8th year, you start again treating your land. And then you need to have certain preparations. And this is how you say, I trust in the Creator, because the Creator is going to provide plenty during that time, because I'm going to continue. We live this life, and sometimes we do not realize, but we are depending on something and we don't realize about what. You do not know if you are going to live one more day, but you act knowing that the next day is going to come. If an accident happened, you were not aware of that was going to be an accident. You constantly, you keep going and going ahead of you. And this is what we talk about, trusting in the Creator. He is going to take care of a situation that maybe we cannot foresee. But doesn't mean that we do not need to be prepared, and doesn't mean a blind dependency. Many religions, they teach you to completely and totally trust in the Creator blindly. And I'm going to tell you right now, that's not the case. He gives you capabilities, he gives to you ways to advance, to work, to learn, and he doesn't tell you, wait on your seat, cross your arms, and wait, and he is going to bless you from heaven. No, you need to prepare. The farmer, what supposedly is the type of life that's closer with a relationship with the Creator, independency about that he needs to provide for rain, and he needs to provide for good weather and all those things. But in order that he can receive good harvest, what does he need to do? To work the field. If he doesn't work the field, he doesn't take care of the animals, how is he going to have a good production? Oh no, the Creator is going to do everything. The only thing that I need to do is to harvest. No? And that is not the case. Many religions, they teach you that you need to have faith. And your faith is the one that turns the mountains. Your faith. Like you have the power. And you can twist the Creator's arm to do what you want to do. And that's not the case. And he's going to give us this understanding about, first, the relationship with men and with their animals, about they need to rest once a week. The land needs to rest every 7 years. And then comes the Yobel. I call it the cosmological rest and renewal. Because after the 50 in the Yobel, everything starts new again. Everything is like a zero, and we start again. Everything is zero, and start again. No, This is the idea that the Creator is always giving us the opportunity to always to renew ourselves and to redo ourselves. And this is a process of growth. Then in the second section, the Behar-Bechukotai, is going to be the ending of Vayikra, and chapter 26 is considered one of the most difficult chapters in the book of Vayikra and the books of the Torah. Also in the Devarim we have the same similar portion. And it's called the Tochecha. And this portion really, how do you, many people translate it as the curses. But instead to use the curses, I want to use a different term, warnings. Okay? And here I want to make an emphasis and to develop this idea about practicality. First of all, we have seen that the Creator gave us the Shabbat, give us the Shemitah, give us the Yovel. Why? To tell us that there needs to be always a time of resting and preparation. Always, and renewal. But now, he's going to come to the nitty-gritty, to the people, to talk to the people. And here, when I was in the 80s, I was just working, starting in my services with the community. There came a certain new idea all over the psychologists and counselors to teach about tough love. I don't know how many of you are aware of that, but that became very popular. What? Because for many years in the 60s, this great, I would say, psychologist, Dr. Spock, changed the vision about taking care and discipline of the children, And his philosophy was, you cannot any longer, discipline your children. That's a no-no. Because if you discipline your children, you are going to create to them some kind of brain damage, And they are not going to be able to be who they are. Sadly enough, today, most of the parents today have bought that light. Today, young parents, I'm sorry to tell you, but you lost it. You have lost the capability to correct, to discipline your children because of the lies that has been told through the time. And you're going to see how the Creator talks. You see, in Mishlei, in Proverbs, chapter 3 and the others that you can check very well, basically say, if you love your children, you correct them. If you love your children, you correct them. Because when they are adult, it's too late. It's like you have seen a tree. When it's just growing up and it starts being twisted, if you put it straight, it's going to grow straight. But as you let it grow twisted, then when it becomes an adult, it's impossible to straighten the tree. And how we have been deceived. Dr. Spock told us that the children are like the adults. The only thing that you need to do is to sit down with them and reasoning with them. Explain them the problems, and they are so capable to understand you, they're going to say, you daddy, mommy, you are totally right. I'm sorry, I committed a mistake. I'm sorry. I never more am going to do that. I'm going to do my best. Maybe you are so blessed that you have children like that. And maybe you, but the truth of the matter is no. You see a child, okay, that is misbehaving, whatever. What is say, Miss Lay? A bad behaved child, what it is? It is a chain to their parents. No? And I have seen many times a child, and they are doing a disastrous thing all over, and the parents are the last one to act. They totally the contrary. They ignore, they look at others. Oh, they go to other side. They do not like to stop their child, and they cannot correct them. I was told about one lady that she said that she suffers completely about a child who lives she lives in an apartment and the child lives over her in a planet. And every day the child makes a lot of noise, boom, 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 and this person cannot live anymore because of the noise. And you know how you see that you check the roof, and then she went to talk to the parents, you know, and the mother told her, he doesn't obey me, a 2 years old child. He doesn't obey me. You can talk to him. This is a mother. What are you going to expect from that little child if he's going to become a terrorist? You're going to see. Here in this community, a long time ago, I had a situation with two set of parents that they came to my office because two of the children, they were acting terrible, and I needed to talk to them. I sit down with them, and to my surprise, the children told the parents what to do. And the parents obeyed in front of me. And I was getting myself out of my mind. And I asked, then, you cannot correct? And you know what was the answer? Well, they do not listen. This is the parents. That to me was a very sad picture. And one of these children, in front of the parent, insulted me. The parent didn't say anything. And I said to this parent, if this child, doesn't respect authority now, when becomes an adult, won't respect the other authorities, I'm going to go to jail. I say that, and that happened. Because the parents, well, they don't listen to me. They don't obey to me. Why? Because they have forgotten who are the parents. They teach you today that the parents, they need to be friends. They are co-equals now. Children and parents are the same. No way goce. Here, no. Children are children, parents are parents. The fifth commandment, kavod, honor father and mother. Children, it's your obligation, no of the parents. The parents are responsible for your well-being. But you need to respond in the right way. You will say, Rabbi, what are you going through all of this? And tough love and Dr. Spock and all these things. Because today we are suffering that problem. Right now, we are in the time of the rights. Now there is right for minorities, right for this, right for that, right for the other, right for the... You know, there are so many rights that you cannot even talk. Because you say something, you are against the right of somebody. And they are so spoiled that they impose their ways to others. And literally, the people of goodwill are being held. They are being kidnapped by these monsters of the little special groups. And every special group is better than the other. They have more rights than the other. We are in the time of our rights. And we do not understand that my rights end when the rights of somebody else begin. The Creator is talking in this passage about Israel. Remember where I brought you out of Egypt and took you out in my hands. At the beginning, what Israel was a baby. And what is a baby? A baby needs to be taken care. You know, a baby cannot change their own diapers. The baby needs to be cleaned out. And then, little by little, the baby start learning because grew ups. You know? Right now, we have adults that are still going to the bathroom and asking them, Mommy, I need to clean me. Because they have not learned to clean themselves. Now, who do you blame here? The children? It's the parents who they are not doing their job. We point fingers to others. But remember, it is at home that everything begins. And that's what the Creator had Israel at home. He had it in his place. And he started teaching Israel. And say, you can do this and you cannot do that. You can go with this and don't go with this. You know, don't go with bad friends. When you go out, avoid the bad friends. Avoid the bad company. Come early. All those things Israel needed to learn. We choose your company. Why it was so important, all those things that our Creator was teaching us? But because he knew that we could easily be convinced to change our ways. We were not strong enough in our own faith. And we need to be, from time to time, to be reinforced. In the 80s, when this idea of tough love began, it because there was a real crisis in the families. Children were becoming more and more rebels. They couldn't any longer accept the premises of the parents, the authority of the parents. They did whatever they wanted to do. But the worst thing was that the parents, they needed to pay for the children's abuses. I had a situation that once I was counseling a family that has a child who was involved in drugs. And the parents constantly will take this child out of problem. The police will take them and they will pay and take it back home. That was over and over until one day the child, because the parents started not giving much money for the drugs, he went and got in a house and he got in troubles, and they came to me to ask me what to do. And I say, how many times have you bailed your son? Has he ever changed? Has ever taken responsibility? Now he's an adult. Are you going to keep it bailing for him? If you keep doing that, he never want to grow up. And I say to them, I don't need to tell you what to do, but my advice to you is you need to start doing tough love. If you really love your child, you need to let him to face the consequences of their actions. To make the story short, he was sent to jail. He spent a time in jail. At the beginning, he cursed his parents. He didn't want to talk to them, and the parents cry, and even they blame me what they did. I was blamed. After 3 years, more or less, the child they called his parents and say, Mother, son, I need to ask you forgiveness. I did wrong. Now I am understanding my behavior. And thank you for allowing me to go through this. That child became something better in society. You will be surprised. The tough love is very important sometimes to a minister. And that's what the Creator is doing in this portion. Sounds terrible. But he does the tochecha, the warning, and tell to his children, Israel, if you do this and you do that, this is what you're going to suffer. And one point he said, I'm going to withdraw my presence from you. Many people interpret this, I'm going to punish you. And they read it, I'm going to punish you. But the Creator doesn't punish us, like I say to you. But he allows us to harvest our behaviors, our actions. And at the end, he is so faithful that he will never abandon us. I have two portions here that I want to read to you what I am trying to tell you about the love of God. First of all, in the portion of this week, chapter 26, the last verses from 44. Well, he's talking about what remember that we talked about the Shemitah, the 6 days to use the land, and the 7th day to let it rest. Israel didn't obey, didn't do it, and he said, verse 43, abandon the country, and in this way they will keep the Shabbat, and it lies deserted in their absence, and they will have to accept the punishment to their guilt. Okay? It's not that the Creator punished them. They punished themselves for what they have done, since they detested my customs and rejected my Torah. Yet, in spite of all of this, when they are in the land of their enemies, I shall not so utterly reject or detest them as to destroy them completely and break my covenant with them. For I am the Lord, their God. For their sake I shall remember the covenant I made with those first generation that I brought out of Egypt, while other nations watched, so that I should be their God. I am the Lord. Such were the decrees, the customs, and the Torah, which the mitzvot, which the Lord established between himself and the Israelites in Mount Sinai through Moses. And in spite of the behavior of Israel, the Creator will be faithful to Israel. And Jeremiah, Hanavi, the prophet Jeremiah, chapter 31, verses 35 and down. The Lord who provides the sun to shine by day, and who gives the ordinance for the moon, stars to shine by night, and who stirs the sea and making its waves roar. He whose name is the Lord Sebaot, Adonai Sebaot, say this, were these established orders ever to pass away before me, the Lord declares, that the seed of Israel will also cease being a nation forever before me. The Lord say this, were the heavens above ever to be measured, the foundation of the earth below ever to be phantom, then I too will reject the whole seed of Israel for all that they have done, the Lord declares. For such a truth, few words to say. Our Creator is faithful to the end. We are the one that we are failing. And then it is time that we start applying tough love, even among ourselves. What does it mean to apply tough love? You know, it is time that you stop accepting others' misbehavior. It is time that you stop, that others go over your head. You know, one thing is to be decent and to be polite. Another thing is to accept abuses. All of us, we are responsible for not only our behavior, but for the behavior of our community. We need to start with ourselves. If we do not respect ourselves, how can we respect the neighbor? And how can we say that we have veneration and we respect our Creator? The teaching for this week as a Shomer Shabbat and as a Shomer Torah, I want to tell you that we have a very important role to fulfill. To be a Shomer Torah is not only about the uniform that I talked to you before. It's not about external appearances as many people look today. The true Shomer Torah is the one that has in his inner being, in his heart, according to the Torah, the written Torah of the Creator in us. If we have the basic 10 commandments, the next week we are going to receive Shavuot. You know, and we are going to experience a very interesting thing about the receiving the Word of God for us. The basic constitution of humanity. How to live well with each other. And how do we need to react to each other. And everything starts at home, everything starts as individuals, and then we can project. This is what is so important to all your parents. You know, that you have little children. Be careful what do you teach to your children. I have learned now, it's too late for me because now my child, but I learned through my actions. I was teaching. Sometimes we teach without words. Then we need to be clear with ourselves, and we need to give it the meaning to our children. Are you a good parent, or are you a parent that don't care about your children? You know, to be permissible, to be open-minded, and to be very liberal means that you don't care about your children. Means that you don't care about your community. Means that you don't care about your people. One of the problems that has been bringing to you all these weeks, because right now, if you look at the situation in Israel, it's very, very hard. They're now talking even about war again. Nothing new for Israel. It is getting worse and worse. And part of the reason to me is that we need to read very carefully this chapter 26. Are we following the Creator? Or are we following the world? Who do we follow? Who are our masters? Are we pleading to be accepted by the world? Or we need to be right being accepted by the Creator? This week, the parasha, the Haftorah reading was Yirmiyahu Hanavi, chapter 17. And how precise it was. Cursed be the man who trusts in men. But blessed be the man who trusts in the Creator. Who can know the heart of man? Deceitful it is. And the answer it is, I, the Creator, knows the heart of man and I weigh their hearts. I examine their hearts. I test their hearts, and I give them accordingly. In other words, it's not how you dress outside, but how you dress your heart inside. How do you walk? Do you walk with the Creator the same way that you walk with the other people? Or with the Creator you have one behavior, and with the people you have another behavior? How many times I have told you that the best thing is to have only one face? How many times I have told you it's better to be one than to have a split personality? How many times I have shared with you about that it's better that people see the way that you are, instead of trying to play a game. Religiosity leads you to hypocrisy. Why? Because religiosity is more about appearances than about the right of the heart. The Creator wants for us to be honest with ourselves first. To be able to be honest with our neighbors and to really elevate the name of the Creator. Do you think that the Creator has the right to exercise tough love with us? And I believe so. And maybe we suffer the consequences for that. Then instead to end it in a very shaky song, let me give you now the positive side. More and more, I have seen in our community that we are learning. And more I have seen the community that we are growing. And more I have seen young parents taking more responsibility for their own children. And this to me is very positive. Because the children, when they become adults, they're going to be grateful for what their parents did for them. Because finally they're going to understand, my parents really love me. When you don't care about your children, you let them to be whatever they want to be. But when you care about your children, you guide them to do what is right. Shabbat Shalom.